hunter and his wife were happy to have been acknowledged by the royal household, and so they went to the palace for the treat. There they were welcomed in a special way, and fresh palm wine and bushmeat was served to them to drink and eat to their satisfaction. The queen tried to kill the baby, but all her attempts failed, and so she asked that the king send one of their loyal maids to the hunter's house to help the pregnant wife. Once upon a time in Omalo village, there lived a pregnant woman whose name was Nzube. Nzube was married to a hunter in their village and was now pregnant with their first child. One day, news came to the palace from the village seer that through the hunter's wife Nzube, the gods would give them a savior. Omalo was a great land, but faced a problem, which was that no one lives till ripe old age. Ajale, the king of Omalo, was a great and kind-hearted king. When he heard the news, he was overwhelmed with joy and could not wait to behold the child. Though the king was happy, but his queen was not happy. She thought to herself, why wouldn't the savior come from the royal family? Why would a commoner bear a savior to the people of Omalo? She was so hurt, and so she devised a plan on how to kill the baby before he or she would be born. At first, she told her husband to invite the hunter's family to a treat in the palace, to congratulate them, for it pleased the gods to have found them worthy to bear the land a savior. The king, on hearing the queen's suggestion, was happy, and so without a mixed feeling, he sent words across the hunter's family. And the hunter and his wife were happy to have been acknowledged by the royal household, and so they went to the palace for the treat. There they were welcomed in a special way, and fresh palm wine and bushmeat was served to them to drink and eat to their satisfaction. The queen tried to kill the baby, but all her attempts failed, and so she asked that the king send one of their loyal maids to the hunter's house to help the pregnant wife. The king obliged and let one of his slaves to move into the hunter's hut and render her services to them. The couple were overwhelmed by the enormous love shown to them by the royal family. The queen of Omalo village was equally pregnant at this time, which was the reason for her anger and jealousy, as she said to herself that she can't be pregnant with a child and let another woman bear a savior to the land while she bore an ordinary child. And to achieve her evil goals, she made the king assign one of her trusted slaves to the hunter's family to work there as a spy. The slave lived with the hunter and his wife Nzube, serving them diligently while acting as the queen's eyes. She told the queen every of the family's movements and even Nzube's delivery month, which fortunately for the queen was her own delivery month too. The queen went and visited the village midwife and told her of her intention to swap the babies at birth. The midwife told the queen that there may be a possibility of them not going into labor at the same time, but the queen told her just to stick to her own side of the plan and leave the rest to her. The queen had already arranged with her slave to let her know as soon as the hunter's wife goes into labor, so she could take some herbs to induce her own labor. And should she go into labor before the hunter's wife, the slave should induce Nzube's labor by mixing the herbs which she gave to her into her drink. The king knew nothing about his queen's evil plan. She never told him, as she knew the king to be an upright man and would not have allowed such evil to take place in his kingdom. As the slave continued to live and serve in the hunter's house, she fed the queen with every information she got. One fateful evening, the moon was full in the sky, and the hunter's wife went into labor. At this time, the husband had already gone out to set his traps, and instead of the slave to help her mistress get to the midwife, she first went to the palace and informed the queen of the news, and then ran back to take the hunter's wife to the midwife. On getting to the midwife's hut, the queen was already there, wailing and crying of labor pain. The both women welcomed their babies few minutes apart. Nzube, the hunter's wife, gave birth to a three-eyed girl, and the queen gave birth to a beautiful daughter. When the midwife saw the mysterious three-eyed daughter of the hunter, she hesitated with the swapping of the babies and first informed the queen about the child, hoping she would not want to carry on with the plans, but the queen, knowing the chief priest's revelation, told her to give her the three-eyed girl. The midwife swapped the kids immediately and gave the princess to the hunter's wife and the three-eyed daughter of the hunter to the queen. When the news of the queen's safe delivery reached the king, he sent message across to the villagers to assemble in his palace to welcome his daughter. While the message was going round the village, the king got to know that the hunter's wife had already given birth to their said savior. It was a double celebration for the king and the people of Omalo. The queen came back with her baby, and when the king saw the child, he marveled at her look. "A three-eyed baby," he exclaimed. He felt something was not right, but what that is he couldn't say, as he can't question his chief for giving him such a child. When the people all gathered, they were served to a feast in the king's palace. Everyone ate and drank to their satisfaction. The village seer visited the king and asked to see the baby. When the queen brought out the baby to the seer, he bowed to the little one as he called Chukwu Okike Abiama to bless and keep the child. He went further to thank the gods for fulfilling their promise to the land. The king was confused, and so he asked the seer the meaning of what he just did. And the seer told him that the gods are wise and can never be cheated. He said to their king, "Ajali, my king, may your reign be long, and may evil not dwell in your place." And as the Igwe exclaimed, he said, the seer left the palace and went to the hunter's hut. When he got there, he saw the princess and gave them a bead to wear it on her wrist. He told them to take care of the little girl, that the gods are not blind. The hunter and his wife Nzube were both confused and surprised at the same time. They wondered what would have brought the great seer of Omalo land to the house of a nobody like them, and even giving them a gift for their daughter. The three-eyed daughter of the king was named Adaife, which means daughter of light. The villagers who have heard of her 3 eyes said she was an evil child, as such has not been seen in their kingdom in a lifetime. The people could not unravel the mystery behind her 3rd eye. The king cherished Adaife so well, raising her like a warrior. The queen, though aware she was not her mother, treated her like she would have done to her princess. 1 decade later, Adaife started manifesting some powers. She preferred to sit by the riverbank and pick leaves from the plants around her. The queen never liked this attitude of hers and had warned the guards not to let her leave the palace at will. But that could not stop her, as no one knew when she leaves the palace. The villagers did not like to associate with her, but the hunter and his wife Nzube liked her so much. Every day while she was done picking herbs from the bush, she would go to the hunter's hut to spend some time with them. One day she got there and found their daughter seriously sick and was at the verge of giving up life. She quickly brought out some herbs from her bag and administered it to the hunter's daughter, and she became well. The news reached the village and everyone was astounded by the miracle she was able to perform. And from that day onwards, the people who avoided her started coming close to her, saying her 3rd eye is that of the gods. Though she manifested in the hunter's hut, her powers were still dormant, waiting for the right time to awaken. Few days after Adaife brought the hunter's daughter back to life, the queen fell ill, and all the herbalists from both Omalo and beyond could not profess solution to her ailment. Adaife told her to tell the king the secrets she has harbored for over a decade and be free, but the queen refused to let out her secrets. One day, the seer, who has grown old and frail, visited the palace. There he told the king that it is time for Adaife to start the work for which the gods brought her to the people of Omalo. Though the king has always known that there was something strange about his daughter, but he never knew she was the savior whom the gods had promised to give them through the hunter and his wife. And so he asked the seer of his revelation about the hunter's daughters years ago. The seer told the king that the queen knew the story and should be the one to tell it, as that is the only way she would be well again. The king then asked for the queen to be brought out. The slaves brought her out, and the seer told her to tell the king what she did many years ago or die. The queen was scared of death, and so she told the king all she had done. The king was broken by the queen's confessions. He never thought his queen could do such a thing, depriving a child her parents' love just because of spiritual gifts. Having known the truth, the king sent for the hunter and his family. And when they arrived at the palace, he told them all that had happened and pleaded they forgive the queen for separating them from their child. The couple, though they have grew fond of the princess whom they raised as their own, had always felt connected with their biological daughter, and so they accepted their daughter, forgiving the queen. The girls were happy to reunite with their real parents but never forgot their foster parents. As soon as Adife reunited with her parents, something extraordinary happened. As they embraced her, a surge of energy coursed through her veins, and her dormant powers burst forth with unprecedented strength. She made plants bloom with a touch and even manipulate the elements around her. People came to her with ailments that had plagued them for years, hoping for a miracle, and one by one she healed them of their sickness and suffering, using her powers to banish diseases that had plagued their bodies. No ailment withstood the magic that flowed through her veins. Soon the village was free from sickness and untimely death. Villagers from far and wide sought her help. She helped everyone that came to her with a problem. The people celebrated her as their guardian angel, showering her with gifts and accolades. Amidst the attention and love shown to her, she never forgot the royal family who had raised her with love and care. She made sure she visited them often. King Ajali held festivals in her honor. The people sang songs of her bravery and kindness, but none of these gave her greater joy than seeing smiles on the faces of those she had healed. And as long as she lived, she made sure she used her gifts to help the people in need. She taught the villagers the ancient wisdom of herbal medicine. She showed them how to identify and cultivate healing plants. And as they embraced the natural remedies, they found themselves growing stronger and healthier with each passing day. Years turned into decades, and yet the villagers remained vibrant and full of life. Thanks to the knowledge passed down by Adife, they lived to a ripe old age, their bodies strong and their minds sharp, cherishing each moment as a precious gift.